Alright everyone, welcome back to the Swing Wing Sing channel, and thank you very much for tuning in. And if your eyes are right now looking at a blurry image of a lot of dots and wondering what the hell we're gonna see in this video, look at this. So today we have two wonderful patches, a Suryakiran's 9 aircraft formation patch and a Hawk Mark 132 silicone keychain. So a patch and a keychain. The keychain actually looks very realistic, almost as if it is in flight. I know the next question you'll ask is, if it's in flight, why isn't it flying? Well, the reason for that is pretty simple. There are no wings. Anyway, jokes apart. So, two new additions to my ever-growing collection of patches, which is quite huge now. And I do need to talk about my patches. I've received a lot of comments from various people asking me to show you the patches. And if you're thinking that patches is what we're going to talk about, then look at this. A Suryakiran's Hawk Mark 132 t-shirt. Now, if you're thinking apparel is what we're going to talk about in this video, you're in for a surprise again. So let me turn the camera around and show you what I've been working on. Alright, so in case you're wondering now, what's that green blurry image? I'll just pull the camera back a little. You see a few people standing out there with some mountains in the background. And as we go, you might be thinking this is a road, but no, it's not a road, it's a runway diorama. And if you're thinking that, oh okay, it's an airport, probably people standing outside waiting for an aircraft, look at this. So this is the diorama that I've been working on, the Suryakiran's 6 aircraft Alpha Cross diorama. So basically the Alpha Cross maneuver is what the Suryakirans performed during their aerobatic maneuvers. So this is basically a total of 6 aircraft approaching each other, 5 aircraft on one side, and this approaching the single aircraft that cuts through that formation in a straight line and then goes right up at the end of the formation. It's pretty much like the British Red Arrows team performance. They also have a similar kind of maneuver, but considering that the Red Arrows air shows haven't been too many to come by, so Suryakiran's is currently fulfilling their dream of being the only 9 aircraft aerobatic team flying the Hawk Mark 132s around the world in aerobatic air shows. So here's the diorama that I worked on. Now this is not a scaled diorama, and I'll tell you the reason why. This is just a perspective diorama. So here you see this is the entire runway. Basically the idea was that the Suryakiran's team is performing right above the runway with the people standing out there in the people stand. This area is somewhere in Malaysia. It's got those hills at the back. If there isn't any such area where there are hills right next to an airbase, I know Sweden has such an area, so you can imagine it to be Sweden. Those green mountains covered with a little bit of snow out there, so you can consider it that, but I wanted to show that as a background. And then of course the Suryakiran's performing here. What you see here are boards to depict the blue sky, so that if I take photographs from this particular angle, that particular aircraft will have sky right behind it. Of course, I could not cover it entirely because that was not my plan. The plan was to show or to build a diorama of this sort. Now coming to the basic pillars of this diorama. So the first one is this base. This is basically an engineering drawing board, and I made use of a 2 feet by 1.5 feet rectangular drawing board. The drawing board was a good choice because the paint finish comes out matte on a wooden drawing board, and I could easily work on it with the black, white, and yellow paints. So I chose that. Moving on to the sides, these are MDF boards on either side. These boards are basically fastened with hinges. I worked on those hinges, so one on each side to support the board, and then of course there is a wedge right here that becomes the supporting point for this board, and then there is a hole inside this board which basically helps to mount that. Helps to mount those scat aircraft on that board. Now on this side you've got the 6 aircraft, and you must be wondering whether these are 3D printed or these are kits. So they are none of them. These are basically scratch built out of wood, and by wood I mean ice cream sticks. But the scale that I was able to achieve is 1:220, and the entire formation has been shown in such a way so that it looks as if this particular aircraft right in the frame now is going to cross through those 6 coming right at it. So basically it's a triangle through which this aircraft cuts through. You can see that the Suryakiran lettering, the Indian Air Force lettering, the Indian fin flash, the roundels, all of this is decal work. So on the left side here you see the Hindi Suryakiran written out there. That covers the first 2 aspects. The third aspect is of course this mountain that you see here, and this is made of an MDF board at the bottom. So it's the same MDF board that I've used here, and I basically cut it to a smaller size, smaller dimension, and on top then I have constructed this mountainous area so that a background shot like this, so if I zoom in there, a background shot with the scat aircraft and the people down there would look just amazing. And even if I move it to the rest of the 6, and from this perspective, that particular shot is going to look absolutely amazing, and that's the reason why I constructed that mountainous terrain. So basically all of this is made with foam, or what we call thermocol in India. So it's all thermocol stacked up, and then I put some tissue paper on top of it, and then used colors to color it, and then highlights and shadows and everything else like that, and some snow flowing down the peaks, the snow that has settled somewhere around the contours. I wanted to show that kind of a view. So somewhere between the winters going away and the summers coming in, and not too much snow on the mountains, the snow having melted, and just the last bits of snow settling on the crevices out there of the mountain is what I wanted to show. So that covers that. Moving on to the next one, this of course is the grass. It's just a strip of grass that I constructed with Scotch Brite. Of course this is this is multiple Scotch Brites that have been connected together and then cut out in this shape, just to show a little bit of a grassy patch on the airport behind which there are the spectators. Talking of spectators, so these are not to scale, these are 1:100 scale, but from a distance of course it looks as if there are people watching, so I wanted to give that perspective of people watching. I got this from Encarto, and Encarto was giving a set of about 100 for about 300 rupees. So there are these people in various poses. As you can see, that lady there in yellow is sitting, this guy with folded hands sitting looking up, the rest of them standing. There's another one at the back there who's sitting down and watching the air show. All of these were not painted, so the painting has been done by me. They were all absolutely white from top to bottom, so all the painting and detailing has been done by me. So that finishes my rant for this video. So if you like the concept, do let me know about it. And if you like the video, click the thumbs up. Do consider subscribing to the channel. Thank you very much. I will see you again in the next video. Bye bye. Take care.